Hello and welcome as we're coming up to the final few minutes of qualification here at round 5 for the RP series. This time bringing us to the circuit Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. World famous circuit. I mean, everything really that you can think of races here, from GTs to open wheels to prototypes to even bikes now. Spa has it all. And it is one of the best circuits, I think, for the format that we're running. The GT3 cars here for this race, the penultimate round of the season. And if we quickly have a glance over at the calendar, race 5, Spa-Francorchamps, the 25th of February. Brings us the penultimate round, followed by the final next week at Brands Hatch. That is going to be an insane final. There are championships still down to the wire. There is scores to be settled. There is races still to be won. And I'm sure that our drivers will give us a very, very entertaining race to watch today. And what I'm going to do is, just while we're coming into the final few minutes of qualifying, current best time set by Robin Moe, a 2:19.8. The track did start off quite wet, and now the track has gone to a dry state. Still not the best. However, the drivers will be seeing lap times improve, as we can see, as pretty much everyone is out on circuit. 17 drivers currently in the race, split across our 3 classes: platinum, silver and bronze. And with that, let's have a look at the at the series standings. First, we'll start off with platinum. Currently leading that championship is Martin Kovacs, the 861 Aston Martin, on 60 points, having won the previous 3 races at Donington Park, Misano and Paul Ricard, giving his drop week as Hungary. Following in second is Yamik Smith on 40 points. Then Pierre Moreno on 39, tied with Chris Liut, the 922 and the 158 cars respectively. Thomas Jack comes in at 5th on 37 points. Mike Bainke in 6th on 35. Robin Moe in 7th on 29. And Sam Maudsley in 8th on 19. Moving on to silver, it's Tristan Stork in the lead there with 57 points. RLY coming in 2nd on 40. Daniel Scott in 3rd on 34. Michael Randall in 4th on 20. And Sench in 5th on 17. And in bronze, we have got Gottlieb, the number 36 Lexus, on 60 points. Sheva Frederick Schoblem in 2nd on 51. Miguel Koch in 3rd on 40. Nicholas Angeli in 4th on 38. Nilsson in 5th on 31. And Balliot in 6th on 22 points. So series are still going to the wire. I mean, keep in mind, you know, the points are 20 for first, 17 for second, 14 for third, 12 for 4, and then 11 for 5th, and so on and so forth. Then 10 for 6th, and then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So there is still definitely the ability for drivers to gain time and gain points throughout the final 2 rounds of the race. As we see, currently sitting on provisional pole is Kovacs at 2:18.1, followed by Pierre Moreno, only a 10th behind, and then Robin Moe a bit further back, Yamik Smith, Chris Liut, and then Tristan Stork and so on and so forth as we fall down the order. This is going to be a very interesting one because two things I've noticed. Firstly, Mike Bainke in 14th, about to come across the line. Will he improve? He does. He goes up to 6th. And Thomas Jack, you know, normally you see him fighting up the front of the field in Platinum. He has decided to not run in today's qualifying and to instead start from 17th, the back row of the grid, meaning that there is going to be a lot of time that Tom will have to make up in today's race. Actually, we will point our attention over to it. We have a very interesting one today, I do feel, at the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. We've got the 20-minute qualifying, which is just coming to a close now, and a 60-minute race with one mandatory stop for tyres. Now, this is, back in the day, this was the standard race format, as we see ROY go a bit deep there at the bus stop chicane both sides. Nicholas actually just decides to cut back, and they're going to have a drag race down to the line. But that is the end of qualifying. So we shall have a look at our timetables. We'll start with the bronze class, and the track is wet. Oh dear. We have got Gottlieb taking pole position in bronze with a 2:22.315, followed by Nilsson at 2:24.7. Miguel Koch, Bolliot, Nicholas Van Jowu, and Foxdale. In silver, taking pole position is Tristan Stork, the 66-720S, with a 2:20.8, followed by RLY with a 2:23.9, and Randall with a 2:28.4, and Snowdog rounds off that grid in a 919 Bentley. And then in Platinum, we have Kovacs taking pole position there, 2:18.167. Pierre Moreno coming in second to 2:18.317. Robin Moe at 2:18.9. Yamik Smith at 2:18.9 as well. Very, very close. Yukt a 2:19.2. And Bainke with a 2:20.147. And as I said prior, Thomas Jack has decided to run from 17th position. So you can see the small PP Porsche there just to the right hand side of your screen. And it looks like we're going to have regular-ish rain for the next 10 minutes and then more rain. So, seems we might be for the first half in a wet race. That will be very interesting. The track being wet as well. 17 degrees air temperature, 17 degrees track temperature. And the wind is going northeast at 13 kilometers an hour. So drivers will have to contest with the wet, the tyres, tyre pressures and temperatures, and all of that fun stuff. We might see some different pit strategies come in to effect as well. It's going to be, I think, very, very dependent on what the circuit conditions throw at us. It's always the interesting bit with these changeable weather races. We just never know how the weather is going to go for us. With an hour on the clock, the drivers will be getting ready for their formation lap. And the driver leading you is this man here, Martin Kovacs, followed to the left by Pierre Moreno with the striking Racing Pals Spectre Porsche, and Robin Moe there showing off his anime side with that Good Smile Racing livery as well. But the driver that we will want to focus a little bit on here is this man in the black Porsche just behind the bluey Lamborghini. Is Thomas Jack. He has got a lot of ground to make up at Spa in a Porsche. We've seen Tom do things like this before, we've seen how often he can do this sort of stuff. So it will just be a very interesting idea and a very interesting race for him, I do believe. But as we get ourselves underway for the formation lap, the drivers will want to be getting a feel of the track under them, trying to get the tyres a little bit up to pressure as well. And side by side, it's the Aston Martin and the Bentley surrounded by Porsches. So it will be an interesting one. I do feel, as with Spa being such a long circuit, the formation lap is quite a long one. It is just hedging the bets now. I mean, with these wet races, it is very difficult to feel and get an idea of how the field might react to the changing conditions. We have got a couple of new drivers in as well. We've got this driver here, Wolfram Foxdale, for the Short Hub Blue Shark E-Racing, the 529 Lamborghini in that striking black, blue and I think yellow livery is what we will call that colour. Some people might say fluorescent green. I think it's more high-vis yellow. And just trailing behind him on the formation lap is Snowdog here in the BG Racing 919 Bentley. That's again green and blue livery with the dash of pink on the wing. As well, two new drivers in the series for this race. We'll see how they get on as the weather forecast has now changed to the rain should hopefully lighten up in the next 10 minutes. I'm sure all the drivers will be sat there looking at the forecast and going, okie dokie, because that track looks very, very wet and it will make the curbs very, very treacherous as well. I mean, one driver that will know the weather is Thomas Jack, the small BB 13 Porsche. He seems to get a very good gist of what the weather's going to do and seems to react to it very, very well. So we will see how we go. But now the field is lining up 2 by 2 out of this corner. At least they should be. For the formation lap ending. And as people don't fully get us at this circuit, as it is a bit interesting and a bit weird, the start-finish straight is not out of the bus stop chicane. Well, the start-finish straight is, sorry. The start line, however, is out of La Source at turn 1. So the drivers will go side by side into La Source and then out of turn 1, meaning that for the first lap, turn 1 is Eau Rouge. Unless they have changed it recently, because the drivers are actually coming side by side. I'm pretty sure it's still out of the final corner. Out of the first corner, sorry. So we'll see as they head across the start-finish line where the race will end. And over the timing line as well. So yeah, it looks to be the case. So the drivers will be going side by side into Eau Rouge. As La Source isn't actually the first corner for our first lap. Pit lane, however, entry is on the bus stop chicane. But as we run down the start-finish line, well, the start line, I should say, we'll get ready as all the drivers will be looking to see what they can do. And we go green here at Spa for round 5 of the RP series. And already Pierre Moreno has got an amazing launch, but Kovacs is trying to hold it. A couple cars going off into the runoff, but it looks as if we have had an incident. We will have to come back to that later, because already Robin Moe is looking on Yamik Smith. He's trying the outside, but then he'll get the inside. But Yamik might just get the better traction. It looks as if he has. But Pierre Moreno down to 4th position already. And this will mean that Chris should get a look. But Pierre just holds the inside. I think that's meant that he's been all right, but we have had an incident for Michael Randall. What has happened here? This is on the back of Snowdog. Oh, the rear has just lost itself in the standing water. That won't help him at all, I don't think, because that has now put him down into 17th position. And in all of that, Thomas Jack, oh, that's a big crash there for Isaac Nielsen in the Tango car. This is down the hill into the left-hander. Has he just hit the curb, or well, he's tried to keep the foot in it? Snowdog as well in the background, but the car's just gone from under him again. Keeps it pretty solid. At least makes the most of the tiny bit of traction that he does get. And Thomas Jack as well, one of the drivers that I was sure would be looking quite quickly, and already he is, as we've got a yellow flag further up. It's Yamik Smith. It looks like he's gone sideways, but this means that everyone else has had to slow down, and this should help out the Porsches that are chasing behind, as Pierre Moreno trying the inside here. Oh, bit of a late break there from Chris Liucht as well. Goes deep. Oh, comes back on and taps Tristan Stork round, and then Bainke goes round as well. That was not what you would have wanted to see. We are going to jump back and have a look at this. This is from the view of Justin Gottlieb. It looks like Bainke loses the rear on himself, and Gottlieb just had nowhere to go in that little melee. This brings back what's the word? It brings back reminiscence of the, I believe, 2022 24 Hours of Spa, when the rain fell, the real world 2022 Spa races. We've had a crash at La Source, I think that is. It's, how has that happened? Foxdale's just, the car looked to have gone and just smacked the barrier. And someone else has had an incident in amongst that as well, was RLY. But I'm not too sure. We've got a lot of drivers having problems, I think, at the top of Eau Rouge. Balius as well, a driver that has fallen foul of Eau Rouge. This is the rain in a nutshell at Spa. As they say, when it rains, it pours, and it very much looks like it is pouring for the drivers, as we've already got gaps forming in this, I would say, very difficult condition to drive in, as Snowdog now looking down the inside, trying to capitalize on a little mistake there from Miguel Koch. Will get the outside, should get the extra power, but the car just got a little bit unsettled, and the move didn't quite work off how the driver would have expected, I don't think. As Thomas Jack is now chasing down the 158, so he's already up to the rear end of the Platinum field. And now Isaac Nielsen looking on Miguel Koch as well. This is for second place in bronze. The Tango racing car gets the move done. And now we'll have the Ferrari of Miguel looking all over the rear end of him. He goes to the outside to defend, and an early turn in to try and get the door shut, and it looks like it does work for him, but that Ferrari is looking very, very racy on the rear end, as the new weather report has come in. Apparently we're going to no rain in 10 minutes. I'm sure that will be something the drivers will love to see, but we're not too sure, as we've had an incident for Thomas Jack. Don't think we're going to see, actually, because Thomas Jack has retired from the session, but it looked like it was at La Source. And that would not be what Tom would have wanted. He was right on the rear end of the Platinum field, and then I'm not sure what happened. It just looked as if he had had a bit of bother and the car had ended up in the barrier. You see the Porsches getting very, very quick down the straight as we've got a little bit of a battle happening behind between Miguel and Nilsson. This is through Eau Rouge, not in this condition. You do not want to run too wide here in the wet, and you really, I mean, I'm not too confident if I'm racing it going too wide here in the dry, let alone anything else, as Michael Randall goes for a little bit of a slide. Now we're back with the battle in the top three. It's now Yamik Smith chasing the rear end, as we see Raymond Balliot have a little explore into the grass. This weather is not good, I don't think, for the drivers. I'm pretty sure they're having a lot of issues here as round goes Tristan Stork. He gets the car pointed straight, but not enough to stop what was going to happen. That's lost him a position to Justin Gottlieb. I mean, keep in mind, he's in the lead of his class as well. He is, Tristan Stork is running first place in silver. He's got a gap of around 8-ish seconds to Snowdog behind. So he's not really fighting Gottlieb here for anything other than a track position. And down the inside, they do make contact. Gottlieb goes round. Tristan Stork does try to wait up. We're going to have a re-watch of that. This is inside of the 66 McLaren. He just looks down the inside. I'm not too sure if Justin noticed he was there. Waits up for a little bit, but then keeps going. That was not the incident that he would have wanted to see. And now this means that the battle for the bronze leadership is going on as Snowdog's round. And then there's contact further up as well. That is the leaders of the bronze class. Miguel Koch goes through to take the lead of bronze. That is something we will have to watch. Keep your eyes on the black Lexus and the orange Lamborghini. You can see Gottlieb is ahead. It looks like he goes quite wide out of the exit, the first left-hander. And then, the closing speed was just too much. There was the touch, the safety punt, and then both of them were round. That has knocked Nilsson out of second place in class and Gottlieb out of the class lead. Which means that Miguel Koch is currently in the lead of bronze class. Here is your current bronze class leader. Randall's going past there. I'm not sure if he had a little bit of strife at the top of the hill, as we've got an incident here for RLY. I want to know what happens here. This is at the top of Eau Rouge, so he's taken to the escape bit, and then it looks all fine. Is there just a bit of standing water in the wrong place? There is. On the apex of that little kink, there is a tiny bit of standing water, which just looks like it's hitting wrong on the underneath of some of our rear-engined cars and causing an incident where the car bottoms out through the water, and then it's just up to Jesus at that point, really. I think it's the term we'll use. Let the rain gods take the wheel. So much drama, and we're only 10 minutes into this race. Can we just appreciate this? As we see Justin Gottlieb gain 10th on track as Snowdog, the BG Racing 919 car, has a little bit of strife in the standing water. This means that now Gottlieb has 2 seconds to catch to Miguel Koch. who was running in the who is running, sorry, in the race lead for the bronze class. After that incident a lap prior, Justin Gottlieb has managed to claw his way back up. He's now running second, so we will see. We will keep a close eye on what's happening there. As further up the field, we have Yamik Smith, Robin Moe, and Pierre Moreno chasing together, as we've got a yellow flag for Robin Moe. I think he's just hit that wrong. That promotes Justin Gottlieb, Yamik Smith into second place overall and in class. A 9.6 second gap to gain to Martin Kovacs, who is fighting for his fourth win of the season. Fourth win of the season and fourth win in a row. And now Pierre Moreno will have the ability to fight onto the rear end of Robin Moe as well. That is something that he will relish, I do think. He'll want to make the most of that. As now we see Justin Gottlieb, he's 8/10 to Miguel Koch. You can see people are avoiding that apex because we know what happens there. And Nicholas Van Joey going up a ridge. I think he's managing to keep that pretty safe up there. He is. Let's just watch as the cars go through. Yeah, a lot of them are now avoiding that apex, as we've got a big incident there for Balliot, and a big incident there for Miguel Koch, the leader of bronze. Has he been hit, or has the car just gone from under him? So he's gone over the first curb, over the second, and the car's, oh, it's just gone from under him. That's Miguel Koch spinning out of the lead of the race. There's another big incident there for Wolf in Foxdale. I think this is on the double left-hander. The car is just trying to get going again. And then someone else comes off. It's Michael Randall. So 2 cars off in that melee. Let us have a look here at what happens. So this is Wolf in Foxdale. We'll jump. I would say we'll jump on board, but that on board isn't very great. So this looks all fine, all dandy, all happy. As he goes through No Name, now known as Speaker's Corner. I'm calling it No Name. Bah. And it is, as I was thinking, it's a downhill left. And I think it might just be the case that has happened to a few drivers. A little bit eager on the throttle over the curb. Gentle tap of the wall, and the car's gone round. And then following on after that, has he done the same thing? Doesn't look like it. It just looks like the car's gone from under him. He's hit the brakes. They've landed basically in tandem together, which is quite entertaining. And have rejoined the circuit, but we can see as well from that incident earlier, there is a lot of damage on the front end of the ST Racing Ferrari piloted by Miguel Koch. He is right on the rear end of Nilsson, and Nicholas Van Jowu is right on the back of them as well. So they are all within about a second and a half of each other. The aero damage there, I think, for Miguel will not be helping him very much, but Isaac's defending. The apex is left a little bit more open, so that'll give Miguel the opportunity to go side by side. As we just cut there up to Justin Gottlieb, but they will be side by side together as they run down to Eau Rouge, and they thankfully do separate a little bit as they go through there. As I said earlier, you do not want to run, but we've got an overtake that's just happened. We will cut back to this. This is Chris on Pierre. It looks as if Pierre had gone a bit deep into the downhill left. We've seen this quite a lot this race, and that's given Chris 4th position overall. That will mean that he will now have the job of keeping Pierre at bay. We will just have to see what happens, as we've got RLY right on the rear end of this little bronze pack together. And the track is starting to dry out, I do think. There's no more rain, so the cars will be able to dry out as Nicholas now, he's looking. He is looking right on the side of Miguel Koch. He does make that move work. That means Nicholas now up to 3rd position in class. And he left the door open as well for ROY to come through as well. So ROY's gained another position. He's got a little bit to climb to get up to his compatriots in silver class. But, you know, with 44 minutes left of today's race, I'm sure we might see him. As we've got Good Doctor in the chat. This is like the Halloween Spa race all over again. Flooded track for like 12 hours, I think it was. I don't think we're at the flooded point yet, but I don't think we could have handled much more rain. There's still a few corners that are very much underwater at this point, and a few that are not as underwater. I mean, you can see from the spray on the rear end of the cars as they go down the straights. There's still standing water on the circuit. Now we see the 66 Hymo car of Tristan Stork on the rear end of the 149 of Bainke. This is again an out-of-class battle. We've seen Stork get involved in these throughout the season. Driver that is very much tipped to win the silver class this season round. And once again, he's showing that he is ready to fight up with the big boys. As we've got a little bit of an incident there. Let us have a look. Is this that corner? Because if it was, this answers the question of, is it still a bit dangerous? It is, yeah. Oh, I don't know if that came through on the stream, but I could just hear the bottom of that car bottom out through the water. You could just hear it. I'm sure there's a few bits of insane standing water on the circuit. I mean, look at that. That was a bit of sideways action there by Bainke. He held it very, very well. But it does 100% show that the track's still not ready for the manic high-speed driving that we're used to. You still need to be extremely careful here, as now they will be together through La Source. Tristan Stork dropping back a little bit, maybe looking if the cutback would work. It doesn't look like it will, so he'll slot back into the slipstream with the Lamborghini. Now, will we see two drivers go side by side through Eau Rouge? And that is a big off there for Snowdog. We'll have a quick look at this, at what happened. Is this that standing water we saw earlier on that's taken the Bentley? No, it's the curbing. Oh, that was a big front on into the barrier there for the 919 car. And he has managed to get it going again. That will be a decent bit of front on damage. That Bentley is returning into the pit lane immediately. I mean, let's have a watch. It doesn't look like the steering is damaged. So I could be wrong. Oh, there's contact between Tristan Stork and Mike Bainke. And then Bainke almost loses the back end again on the run to Speaker's Corner. Not too sure how that happened. We are going to go back and have a little bit of a watch. So let's have a look here. We'll get on the helicam. Tristan Stork's tried the inside, and that door was rapidly closing very, very quickly. I'm not sure that was there for him to go through. He tried it, and I think the gap was just closing a bit too quick for it to work. It looks a bit opportunistic, but obviously I can only say what I see from here. But this battle here, this fight's getting proper shoulders out between the 149 Lamborghini and the 66 McLaren. Which, keep in mind, this is not for points as Bane Key is round. Does he keep out the barrier? No, he doesn't. And in that avoidance, Tristan Stork has picked himself up a drive-through penalty. I'm going to expect that is for track limits. Tristan Stork is already taking it. Now, Spa has, I believe, the longest pit lane. I know it's for sure the longest pit lane in our roster. I think that means Banky is going to be able to slip by. Yes, it is. And what is the line to line here? So on a drive-through, line to line, I mean, he's only just out of the first pit lane, and he's already at about 40 seconds. So we will keep the watch on that, as we're now going to go to Nicholas, who is right on the rear end of ROY, as we've got a yellow flag for Balliot. Not too sure what's happened there, but that car is in some very big strife. I mean, look at the steering angle. We saw there. That is not at all good to drive anymore. I'd be surprised if he's not got the equal flag. I mean, look on board. He is turning at, you know, half lock, and the car is just about managing the corner with with the runoff. I mean, that car is not happy at all. And now there is more news. Tristan Stork has picked up a stop-go 30-second for, I believe, speeding in the pit lane. Is what has netted that. Which means after a drive-through, he has now got to serve a stop-go 30. And with the line-to-line, without a stop, being between a minute 5 and a minute 10, that is an insane preposition, as we've got an incident for the leader of bronze class, Justin Gottlieb. This is not Speaker's Corner, it didn't look like. Looks to be the run down the hill here. What has happened to Justin? Has the car just hit the curb wrong, or... So he's gone wide, he's hit the curb. Oh, it's onto that Astro concrete stuff that does just swallow the car up and spit it out. That is not what he would have wanted. As we see Raymond Balliot getting into Sector 3. I think he's now just wanting to get that car back to the pit lane. That is going to be a lot of damage to that 410 Privateer Porsche. And he will have to move over for Justin Gottlieb. I mean, he didn't have to, but he's just making sure he isn't getting in the way at all. Tristan Stork coming in as well, I think, to serve that stop-go 30. But the good news is Raymond has made it back into the pit lane with that Porsche without any further incident due to the damaged car. Which, I mean, with conditions like this, very good jobbers. Oh, Snowdog has had a bit of a crash at the top of a Rouge. Is this through that standing water once again? It is. I specifically stayed silent there, so the stream could hopefully hear that sound. That sound is the car bottoming out. Over the water. Which is the sound that no driver, I should know this, is the sound that no driver wants to hear when they're taking the racing line. is the sound of the car bottoming out into a puddle. That is the worst sound, in my opinion. And in the chat, we've just got some clarification from Michael. 1 minute line to line. So it's approximately 1 minute line to line. Obviously, depending on how drivers... what's the word I'm looking for here? How quick they get to pit speed. How close to the line, I should say. And how quick they turn off the limiter. If they're using manual limiter as well. Yeah, around a minute. So that is... definitely a long pit stop, as we've got Miguel Koch being the first driver to make his stop. His mandatory stop, I should say. And we are 33.5 minutes into this race. The weather forecast is looking optimistic. For the moment, apparently we are due some sun. Which I'm sure all the drivers will be looking at going, oh, why couldn't you have come half an hour ago? Nielsen there got in a little bit of strife. He's now got RLY behind him. He's around 22.5 seconds off of Justin Gottlieb. He is defending from that silver car. That silver car running in second place in class. Michael Randall leading silver at the moment. But we will see together what's going to happen as we see Raymond coming out of the pit lane as well after the damage to his car earlier on. Which, I'm sure he'll be happy to be back out on circuit, back up to racing speed with a car that's hopefully a lot more straight than it came in. But we've still got the other half of this race to run. The track, though, doesn't look like it's drying out that fast. And if there's any rain on the horizon, we will have probably some more issues with wet weather. So Raymond back out the pit lane. The car just didn't want to stop there for him at all, did it? And, that has stopped him around as RLY is off into the barriers by the look of it. I'm not sure if he hit the barriers or if he just avoided them. That curb on the outside, it's just sent the car into a spin. He's got it slowed down enough, though, so he hasn't actually hit the barrier. Which, I'm sure while you're pirouetting, you probably think you're about to collect a wall, but that was some very, very good stopping power on the Ferrari. But looking at the weather report, again, it's changed. The weather forecast is a bit up in the air at the minute. I'm sure a lot of drivers who've stayed out thus far are happy with that choice, because it is getting darker, in fact. I'm not sure, because it is virtual time 9:38 that the sun has probably tucked behind the trees, or if it is a sign of things to come. I mean, on the rear wing of the no big deal Porsche, You see just how much water spray there actually is to contend with. So I'm sure there's going to be... There might be another rain period. I mean, this is the closest thing to dry running that we have had thus far. So, I'm just trying to have a think. Look, we've had the first half in wet. I mean, we're still in the wet now, but it isn't raining. But even then, we've got a couple drivers making their pit stop. Pierre Moreno has boxed in. I'm not sure if the 410 Porsche was in the box for a while. I'm not sure if he's grabbing some extra tyres or what he's looking to do. We'll see. As I do say, in motorsport, the rain is the great equaliser. Well, no, you can also just hear there as well that the bottom of the car actually did hit some standing water on the inside of Speaker's Corner. But it is just going to be the case now of, will the weather hold up long enough for the drivers to make pit stops to utilise dries, or is it just going to get wet far too quick again? Will it get wet again? So, 27 minutes left on the clock. Your current class leaders being Kovacs, the 861 Aston Martin, Randall, the 18 Porsche, and Gottlieb, the 36 Lexus. That is... It could still be up in the air, really, from what has been happening this race. I mean, with the weather, we've seen a lot of drivers come into strife with standing water, and, you know, I can't really say anything else about that either, because I know for a fact, if I was in one of the driver's seats of these cars, I'm pretty sure that I would be getting in some strife with the rain. As Cora in the chat coming in with I suspect Kovacs is not human. How can he drive without any incident? I'm not sure. That's something that I ask myself quite often as well. One thing I do know, I'm not sure if he's managed to fix it or not, but he has also been having pedal problems today as well. So I'm not sure how Kovacs has been managing this well. I mean, even the lap times at 229.7 being his top time in the race, without, I think, really slipstream. Yeah, it would have been without slipstream. So that was just on raw pace of that car alone, and that was set quite a few laps ago, I do think, as well. So he has just been having a blinder of a race today. As another driver into the pits is Tristan Stork. Now, it is a question. Are some of the drivers just eking out and seeing if the weather turns or if the track condition gets to dry? I mean, you've got both things to contend with. as we see Isaac Nilsson boxing in this lap as well. So yeah, do we have drivers boxing in now going, you know, it might not get dry, but I can sling this set of wets on, you know, 24 minutes to go. As, yep, Kovacs and Yamik Smith both in the pit lane too. So I think I was correct in my thinking there, that a lot of drivers were going up to the wire, as it were. Obviously, there is no pit window in the RP series. You box when you box. But it might just be a case of, we think the weather's either going to stay the same or get worse. We think the track's probably either going to stay the same or get worse. So now it's the time for the strategies to come into play. I'm not sure if drivers will be taking fuel and tyres or just tyres. It will be an interesting one. As we're currently following Wolfen Foxdale, and then on to Nicholas Van Chelwu as well, who still to make his pit stop. Currently running second in class after Nilsson has boxed in. So second on the road, but I'm not sure about what will happen with strategy in this one. I am now not really looking at the weather report, as it has been changing so often. So I'm sure the drivers will probably be sat there in the cars thinking, what's the weather going to do? If only I knew. With 22 and a half minutes to go. Sorry, about 22 and a half minutes. Actually, I was correct the first time. Left to run in this race. It is getting down to the wire for drivers to decide on their strategy, as Nicholas has a little bit of a slidey moment there. But now, first place on the road is Robin Moe in that Good Smile Racing liveried Porsche, the number 3 car with, I did my research here, Hatsune Miku on the side of it. He has still yet to box though, and looking at the gap, he's 1 minute and 3 seconds ahead of Kovacs at this moment in time. The pit stops for the drivers have been between 1 minute and 45. Yeah, 1 minute and 45 to 1 minute 49. And, that will mean that Robin Moe will need to eke out some more time. But the rain has started to come back down again as it gets dark. Chris is in the pit lane, the 158 car. He's got not enough time that he'll get out ahead of Kovacs, I don't think. He might also drop down into 4th position, but it will depend on how Robin Moe times his pit stop as well. Robin Moe being 1 minute and 4 seconds ahead of Kovacs at this point. I'm sure all the drivers who have boxed most likely went onto the wet tyres again. Pretty sure it wasn't remotely near the point to even consider the dry tyres. I'm pretty sure Virtual Pirelli have just gone around the garages and gone, you don't need these, do you? We'll take them and save you some room. But with 20 and a half minutes running on the race, the order is looking quite interesting. As we've got your race leader, Robin Moe, still with a pit stop left to run. Michael Randall also just boxing in from the lead of Silver. And Justin Gottlieb, who's already pitted as well. But we've now got heavy rain in, according to the weather report, which looks correct at this point. Looking on the windscreens, it looks more light rain really than heavy. It doesn't look that heavy, but I'm not too sure if it's just a little snippet of camera that we get. I mean, we can look on some of the cars. on the Lexus. That does actually look quite heavy. Actually, but apparently it's going to get more heavy, in fact, as Pierre Moreno up to 4th position. So he has made his pit stops work out for him. The undercut very much appears to have worked. And Robin Moe boxing in as well. 59 seconds ahead of Kovacs. So that will not be enough time to retain the lead. The overcut has not worked for him in this case, I don't think. From the look of it, the rain is now in to stay. The track is drier than when the race started, but it won't take long, I wouldn't say, for the track to get wetter than when we started. As one thing I do want to point attention to is just the design that Wolf and Foxdale is running on that livery. I mean, it is starting to get dark, so we can't see too much. But the colour scheme, the bluey short cub car, very, very nice design there that he's running. One of the things that I do like to highlight is the nice liveries that we do see in our series. And that for sure is one of them. Now, where is Robin Moe? He's still in the box as the cars come down. So it looks like Kovacs will retain the lead of the race. Indeed it does. Randall as well has been overtaken on exit by Justin Gottlieb. So that will be Michael Randall down to 7th. Sorry, down to 8th. And Gottlieb up to 7th position. However, Randall's still in the lead of his class as the 410 car just jumps out the way there. Pretty smart idea in these conditions. I wouldn't want to be having the pressure of a lap-up car behind me bearing down on the rear bumper in the wet. I would much rather just go, no, you know what? Go, 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 go. As Robin Moe has come out in 3rd position, so he's still on the podium. And I'm 99% sure he's still got the wet tyres on. Well, a new set of wet tyres, I should say, not an old set. With 16 minutes left running in today's race, we've not got a great deal of time left. I mean, I think for the drivers, it will be a welcome sight of few. We've got 16 minutes left of wet racing to get done, as we see Chris there getting past Nicholas. That is not for any form of position, that's just getting past, because he's got a Pierre Moreno to catch ahead. 1.7 seconds separating the two Porsches, both running hints of blue on those cars. Now down to 1.9. And with the rain as well still with us. Well, I mean, look on board here, we can see the rain's still there. So we have got a yellow flag, but it seems to get cleared up quite quickly. Randall now back on the rear end of the Lexus. These are both bronze and silver class leaders. 9/10, as we've got a yellow flag for Chris. It doesn't look like anything too drastic has happened. We'll have a jump back and a look Here, this is down to the source. Has the car just not stopped in time and have gone a bit deep? Yes, it has. Maybe a bit of standing water there playing a part. I would say with 14 minutes left, we are getting close to the wire. Every driver, bar one, has pitted. In today's race, Martin Kovacs still your race leader, with Randall and Gottlieb in silver lead and bronze lead, respectively. I do apologise about that. My phone just decided to ring then. But we are running now, very dangerously close to the end of the race, I think, for a lot of drivers. The rain is still coming down, but it doesn't look like it's affecting the track all too much. From the look of it, it's staying pretty consistent, really. It looks as if the track is staying, you know, wet-ish, the same amount as I think it looked like there on the front end of the short cub car. The meatball flag looked like it was on in the cockpit. I'm not sure if it is actually on or if it's just the race logic staying on. I mean, I can't see any damage on that car. It is still quite dark, but no, the meatball flag is being waved for Wolf in Foxdale there. I know what it is. There's no damage to the car. He's just not got his headlights on. 9:58 at night. He's just not got his lights on, and it's now the point of time for the game itself, the game's scrutineering and stewarding system, that the headlights need to be on, but I think he's saying, feeling that he can run. He can see enough without it. I mean, that is quite true. He can see quite a bit. I mean, he hasn't even got the windscreen wipers on either. So that 529 car is running at the moment without lights and without wipers. That is a curiosity that I'm not 100% sure how it's happened. And we are just going to have a watch to see if it might be damage related, but I'm not sure it is, because that car looks completely straight and completely fine from my view. Yeah, he doesn't drop into the pit lane, so not too sure. The meatball flags are still waving for him. I think you get 3 laps of the meatball flag before getting a penalty or a disqualification. I can't quite remember which it is. But we are getting to the wire. We're in the last 10 minutes. Now it's Kovacs leading from Smith and Mo in platinum. Randall in the lead there with Vara Weinstock in 2nd and 3rd in class respectively, 11th and 12th respectively. And in bronze it's Gottlieb, Nicholas, Nilsson, Foxdale and Valiant. We just see there Yamik Smith making his way past Randall on the run down to our Rouge. As the virtual clock strikes 10 p.m, which, creepily enough, it's 9 p.m. my local time, UK time. And Spa is a real world hour ahead of me, so the in-game time is actually pretty much matching the real time for me, and probably the real time for anyone else in that time zone, in fact. Which is relatively entertaining. Little tidbit of a fact there for everybody. The track, at least visually, looks about where it was earlier on. At the start of the race. Now it's just dark, however, and the drivers, I'm sure, will be feeling it. But we're into the 20 lap mark as well, so 20 laps this race has run for thus far, and after an interesting start to proceedings, we have entered into the period of calm. With all the drivers, we'll also keep in mind that penultimate round of the race as well, so those 20 points on the line could be the decider between, you know, if I finish first, you finish second, and if I finish first, you need to not finish completion to the series. It will mean that there will be, I think, 2 championships in tight contention in silver and bronze. With platinum a little bit wider open by the field, by my quick mental maths. But still possible. And it's something we have seen in seasons gone by, is that championships decided right at the final races. I mean, a few seasons ago, we had Thomas Jack taking the title after a hard-fought season with Pierre Moreno at Suzuka. Pierre Moreno having gotten involved in an incident in that race, which allowed Thomas Jack to get past and build a gap. It is definitely something that we love to watch as spectators as well. Championships coming down to the last race, you know, all the drivers having worked the whole season, this season being a 6-week season. It's been pretty quick to go by, at least how it's felt. This season having been run every week as opposed to every 2 weeks, has meant that the drivers have had to basically do double the practice in half the time. Well, the same practice in half the time, so they've got to do double the practice in a week to get the cars race ready, to get themselves race ready, and all of that fun stuff. But I think for a lot of drivers, we've seen some very, very good racing this whole season. We've still got one more round to run at Brands Hatch. As we see Balliot there take to the gravel to, I think, allow Tristan Stork through. Interesting way of adhering to blue flags, but you know, it works. And Isaac Nilsson has picked himself up a drive-through right towards the end of the race. As well, which not ideal for him. I'm not sure if he's going to take it or let it convert to a time penalty on the end. No, he is taking it. I'm not sure if that's going to drop him down in class. It doesn't look like it will, so it's just a formality, really. As Martin Kovacs coming out of campus. 59 seconds left on the clock. I think we're going to get one more lap of running as well from the drivers here. He's 15 seconds clear of Yamik Smith. But he is your current race leader here, Martin Kovacs, starting the final lap of the race. Looking at the statistics I get as well for the screen time of people, Kovacs has had 6 minutes in the hour and 35-ish that we've been streaming. And he's in the lead of the race. So it just shows, really, to look for a better word, how uneventful of a race he has had. that, you know, he started out, you know, at the front, and he's just stayed there throughout the race itself. For a lot of drivers, there is still one more lap to run. For them. I'm sure with some drivers, they're going to be sat there going, please can it end? And here is the track map. You can see the 861 car there, depicted by the triangle. Just coming into Sector 3 now, so the drivers are ahead of him. The 21, 66, 149, 410, 7 and 15 will have this this lap to run, whereas the 529, 107, 3, 36, 18, 922 and 158 will be able to end on this lap. Now, I'm not sure if the 15 car, driven by Nilsson, is going to run all the way to the line or see that the race leader's behind and go, you know what, I'm letting him go past. No, he's not. So Nilsson will have one more lap to run, in fact, but across the line to take the victory, his 4th in a row, is Martin Kovacs, the 861 Aston Martin. 4th victory of the season, 4th in a row. That is, I think, really, from the look of it, that might be the Platinum Trophy. Wrapped up. I mean, looking at the maths, let's do a very, very, very quick bit of math here. Scoring detail. He was 40 points ahead of Yamik Smith. He'll be at 80 and Yamik will be at 57. So that would mean that if my maths is right, which it is, unless I have got it wrong, but if my maths is correct in the Platinum class, that means that Kovacs may have actually clinched it this race. I'll need to do the math here very quick again. So it's 20 points for a victory. And 17 points. Which means, yeah. And, wow. And then, yeah, also across the line is the rest of the Platinum field. Gottlieb takes the win in bronze and Randall takes the win in silver. Tristan Stork comes in second place there. RLY will come through in third position. But as we come up now to the final few drivers of the race to cross the line. So, there is your finishing positions. In Platinum, Kovacs came through to take the victory. Yamik Smith in second, Robin Moe third, Moreno fourth, Liut fifth, Bainke sixth. In silver, Randall came through to take the victory, followed by Stork, RLY in the finishers there. And in bronze, Gottlieb takes the win, followed by Nicholas van Gelwoo. Second place for Nicholas. Just having a look. That is his best finish of the season. Nilsson in third, Foxdale fourth, and Balliot fifth position. So we will get the drivers in for the interviews now. While we switch over a couple things. To make sure we're good, we'll phase out the sound of the engines for the final ones. But once I find the channel, we will first get in Kovacs, so this should be a long chat. Hello, Kovacs.
Hello.
So, 5th race of the season, 5th podium, 4th win in a row. A viewer has asked in the chat, are you actually human?
Yes, but I'm cheating.
Oh.
Actually, no, take that back. I'm not cheating. It's just a joke. Don't ban me.
So how did you find the race today with the weather playing I'm sure, a big part?
I mean, it was the same as, I think, Hungaroring and then Paul Ricard as well with the changing qualifying session. And then the race, again, is just really hard.
Now, I've done the math, and I'm pretty confident in my math. And by that I mean, I've done some adding with the calculator, and I'm pretty confident. But after today's race, you'll be on 80 points.
Yes.
Your closest competitor is Yamik Smith, who's at 40 points. Now, it's 17 points for second place, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
So, you can do the mental math here with me. What's 80 minus 57?
Oh god, it's 23.
Exactly. And what's the max amount of points you can score in a race?
It's 20.
So now we've done that mental math together, what do you think that means?
I've won the championship.
From the look of it, yes.
I mean, I was just focusing on the race, not the championship.
But after that, after the season, we will talk a bit more about your season. You have been, in that Aston Martin, an absolute force to be reckoned with in that car. How? Like, how have you managed to take that Aston Martin to the heights that we've seen it this season?
You know, last season, at the last race, you've asked me a question if I was still going to be in the Porsche. And I said, yes, I would like to keep that.
Yes, I did.
And I don't know why. It just clicked with me, the Aston.
Yep, I remember that conversation well. You said, yeah, we're going to stick with the Porsche. I like the Porsche. Then you turn up in an Aston Martin. which confused me a little bit. But looking for the final race of the season, the final race taking us to Brands Hatch, obviously iconic ex-British car brand, iconic British circuit. How do you feel around Brands Hatch in that car? Is it going to be good for you, or is it going to be one of those ones where it's like, yeah, just drive and we'll be all right?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite good about Brands Hatch. It feels really good on there. I think it's one of the fastest cars, I would say. So I have high expectations again, but I'm not going to say anything because anything can happen.
Well, yeah, true. You said last season you'd stick with a Porsche. But that's all the questions I had for you tonight, Kovacs. Congratulations on the race win. And if my math is right, congrats on the championship.
Thank you.
That was Martin Kovacs, Platinum Race winner. Now we'll get in our silver race winner, Trainboy 2005, Michael Randall. who has had a few incidents this race, yet has still managed to come out with a victory. How was the race for you?
Ow, my shoulders.
Ah.
Yeah, it was one of those races where you're just sitting there and the wheel is going left and right more than it's going straight.
So with the weather, how was it to drive? Because I saw a couple of little, let's say, moments that would get you on a Formula D highlight reel. How was it to drive in those conditions?
Hell.
Ah.
My car was too low on the front end because I thought I was going to go back to being dry at the start because of the weather radar. And since it wasn't, it kind of screwed me over there. So I was having a front end that was only 53 millimeters off the ground. And let's put it this way, that through puddles was not fun.
It doesn't sound it.
No.
Now with Brands Hatch coming up, how are you feeling about that race?
I mean, Brands Hatch is one of those tracks where I am weirdly good at. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about that one. I mean, I think at this point, I think Stork has the championship. So I'm just basically trying to push out Daniel for the second place one. So getting another win feels nice. You finish more races though.
So you're trying to push out Daniel for second in the championship.
I believe. I haven't checked really.
I can tell you now, you're not fighting Daniel on that one. You're going to be fighting RLY, who came through in third in today's race, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, third. Yeah.
So you're going to have what's it going to be? Let's do the quick math here, seeing as that seems to be what I'm doing tonight.
I mean, that's what happens when it's getting to towards the end of a championship. It's math.
So you would need to take second in the Silver Championship. You would need to win an RLY to finish in third or lower.
Okay, I could do that.
It would be a 14-point difference between you two. So looking to that then, are you confident of that? Or is it going to be a case of we just need to see what happens and just see where it takes us?
I mean, as the saying goes, as Murphy's Law say, anything that can't go wrong will go wrong. So you never know, really. And I like the track. I'm hoping that I could get the win there. I don't know. Might put some extra little practice in there because I didn't really practice for this race. But I just am going to have to push hard, I guess.
And now my final question for you, Train Boy, because it's something that I have been asked in the chat before when I've interviewed you. How long do you think the highlights video for you is going to be on this one?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I'm not really doing YouTube stuff anymore because I burned out. I've been waiting months to say that, and now I know. Just for you, I'll do one here. I'll do one for this one, just for you.
Yay! But congratulations on the race win. Who knows, at Brands Hatch, we might be crowning you second place in the championship and another race win under your belt. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Have a good evening. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
And that was Trainboy 2005, our winner for the Silver Class. And now, last but not least, is the number 36 car, the race winner for Bronze Class, and 7th overall as well. Hello, Justin.
Hey, how you doing, man? Doing all right?
I'm doing very well. How was that race for you? Because a lot happened.
Stressful. It was stressful because I was hoping it would be dry at some point, but that's why I stayed out as long as I could before I went back to the pit, get a new set of tires. But it was a stressful race. I got spun once, and I think I spun myself the second time, but I was able to get the car back on track and actually hold the position. I had such a big gap between me and the other guy.
And well, trying hard to figure out how to word the question. 7th overall in bronze. I'm not. Is that the highest you've been this season on the overall, or am I mistaken?
No, that's right. But I mean, it's a wet race, and luckily the RCF is kind of planted in the wet, so I got real fortunate. I saw a couple spin outs, and I think that's what helped me out a lot. But yeah, I think that's the highest I got overall this season so far.
And in the closing bit of the race, I saw you and Randall, the 18 car. You were pretty close together. Was it from you, like from your side, just a case of, if he's just quicker, I'm just going to let him go so I don't get put into the barrier out of the lead? Or this is my bit of track, I'm having it?
It was more of that. I'd rather be cautious. I'd rather finish the race than not finish the race. So I figured, just take it easy. If I'll let him pass if need be. It's no big deal. So yeah, that was my mindset, at least, just to let them go. And if something happens, I'll catch up. Because I think he spun out actually. On turn 3, I think his rear end got kicked out. So.
And looking now, we're obviously at the penultimate race of the season, going into the final at Brands Hatch. How are you feeling about both the race and the championship as a whole?
As long as it doesn't rain, I'll be fine. I think I'll be fine. I think it's rained like 90% this season, and it's cool. But Brands Hatch is a track where it's hard to pass. And if you come in a position to where you can overtake, you're going to lose a lot of time trying to fight that little battle. And then, but I think I feel good in my position. I still want a good battle, but I feel confident that I'll take the first place, but who knows?
And you're saying you hope it doesn't rain. Are you aware what country Brands Hatch is in?
Yes, I do. It rains quite often.
Yes, it does. As a resident of said country, I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
But that's all from me for you for tonight. Congratulations on the race win.
Thanks a lot, brother.
I haven't done the math on the championship, but next race we will know for certain if you are walking away with that top step of bronze.
We'll see.
Lot on the line. Congratulations on the win. And who knows, might be seeing you in next week for a race victory and a championship.
We'll see. Hopefully. And thanks for the interview and the stewarding, because I do watch the replays.
That's all right. Have a good night, and congrats.
All right. Thank you. You have a good one.
And that was Justin Gottlieb, the winner of bronze class. Now, we've got a couple things to do before we end the stream tonight. Next week, we have got the 4 hours of Red Bull Ring. The RP Endurance returns their teams of 1 or 2 drivers taking on the GT2 or the GT4 cars. 2 classes, 1 circuit for 4 hours. Should be a very, very interesting race. Make sure you tune in for that next week. On Saturday, the 2nd of March. Under a week to go for that one. Should be a good one. Last time I looked, there was a wide array of GT2s and GT4s signed up. And now, as we do with the end of each stream, we'd like to give a good thank you to our Patreon community. The people that help us to keep the servers running and the cars racing. We have Jacob Deep Cuts, Robin Molling, Alvin Yakitori, Suicidal Cookie, M1 LDT, Alexander Gorgiev, I'm Jay Gott, and Pierre Moreno. Until next time, I have been Huski. This has been the RP Series Race 5 at Spa. Next week, join me on the 3rd of March for Brands Hatch, the final where championships will come to an end. Battles will be had on circuit. And it should be a very good race. But until then,